Home Affairs Minister Dr. Leon Schreiber has issued an immigration directive that extends the validity of the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit, also known as the ZEP, until 28 May 2027. Now, the said permit, which allows approximately 178,000 Zimbabweans to live, work and study in South Africa lawfully, was set to expire on the 28th of November 2025.
Why must we keep Zimbabweans on ZEPs here? What is so special about them that makes them believe that they need to have documents that are different to other people? So right now, I think psychologically Zimbabweans need to understand that it's not about you having documents only. It's about the fact that South Africans no longer want you in their country. You right now, yes.
Can we make it very clear, colleagues? I don't think the statement is correct. What we don't want in South Africa is people who are illegal. ZEP holders are legal in the country. The illegal Zimbabweans, a different story. Those people are not supposed to be in the country. What we are discussing is the future of the ZEP because they have been legally complying. The only issue we are saying as government, we want them to move through the mainstream. Not that South Africa does not want foreign extras. We want foreign extras.
In less than 30 seconds, South Africa's immigration debate crossed a critical line. This was no longer only a disagreement about temporary permits. It became a confrontation between public rejection and legal status. And the question at the centre was simple. Who decides who is legally entitled to remain in South Africa, the law, the government, or public anger? The exchange you are about to hear took place during consultations over the future of the Zimbabwean Exemption Permit, commonly known as the ZEP. The Department of Home Affairs began nationwide consultations in 2026 as part of the process of determining the future of Zimbabwean and Lesotho exemption permits. Current ZEPs remain legally valid until May 2027, while that process continues. Jacinta Ngobese-Zuma of March argues that the issue is no longer simply whether permit holders possess documents. The chair challenges that position and restores the distinction between people who are undocumented and people whose permits remain legally valid. Listen to the full exchange first. Then we will examine the moment when a legitimate policy debate becomes a demand for collective exclusion.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much. I just feel like, Chair, the problem here is that it's like we are with people who don't understand why we find ourselves here in the first place. Because they are the ones that took the government to court to continue to insist that they must stay in the country. And trust and believe me, if we felt like Zimbabweans are good citizens that we can live with, then I'm sure we wouldn't be here today. So we find ourselves here, and I feel like we are dealing with a psychological issue more than we're dealing with the legal issue. I think psychologically, Zimbabweans don't think that they're Zimbabweans. I think in their head, they are convinced that they're South Africans. And that conviction comes from the fact that they have been able to use our laws in a way that favors them. And they thought that they are going to be able to do this long enough while we as South Africans are getting drunk, as they always say, and being uneducated, as they always call us. So I think what should happen today, Chair, is that Zimbabweans are supposed to be using this platform to make us, even as citizens, who are tired and fed up with them, to believe that they are actually people that we can want to live with. But unfortunately, they're doing the complete opposite. And they're reminding us exactly why we don't want them in our country anymore. Because ever since this conversation started, it's me, this. It's, I have been doing this and therefore I need to be here. As South Africans, we haven't heard anything that benefits us as citizens from Zimbabweans. Why must we keep Zimbabweans on ZEPs here? What is so special about them that makes them believe that they need to have documents that are different to other people, because we have established that this was a temporary solution, but they refused to accept that. We have established that it was illegal even for the department to give them those documents back then, because they allowed these people to come in without even consulting us, and that's why now we are consulting. And the time that we're consulting, it's like trying to take spilt milk and put it back in a carton. It's spilled. It's not going to go back. So right now, I think psychologically, Zimbabweans need to understand that it's not about you having documents only. It's about the fact that South Africans no longer want you in their country. You are a Zimbabwean, which means the same way you had to adjust to coming to South Africa is the same way you have to adjust to going back home. It's not going to be that difficult because it's your home. Even if you leave home, in Kumbule Kaya, we see people leave home for years and years, but they still go back and it's still their home. And there's someone telling me here that I'm generalizing. I'm going to generalize because I'm talking about Zimbabweans here in majority. If I was talking about Zimbabweans in minority, then I wouldn't have to generalize. So I'm generalizing because Zimbabweans need to psychologically accept the fact that even if there's SERI or even if there's Helen Suzman Foundation, even if those people stand behind you, the people that you are now trying to integrate with later, that you have been swearing at and calling names and ridiculing and telling them you're not going anywhere, do not want you in their country anymore. And you're using this excuse of trying to scare us with illegal immigration going to be on the rise. No, it's not going to be on the rise because you will not have anywhere to stay. We don't want you in our country. We just want the laws to enable us to reiterate that. Because currently, you guys having ZEPs makes you believe that we want you to still be in our country. So remove those ZEPs, and they speak exactly to what South Africans want. And that is people who no longer want Zimbabweans in their country. I think that's the psychology that we need to keep repeating in these sessions over and over and over again. And that is my submission, Chair, that right now, yes.
Can we make it very clear, colleagues? I don't think the statement is correct. What we don't want in South Africa is people who are illegal. ZEP holders are legal in the country. The illegal Zimbabweans, a different story. Those people are not supposed to be in the country. What we are discussing is the future of ZEP because they have been legally complying. The only issue we are saying as government, we want them to move through the mainstream. Not that South Africa does not want foreign nationals. We want foreign nationals who come here as tourists, who come here as critical skills, who come here as business people who are law-abiding like they do in any country. When it's time
no, Chair, you don't change my words for what I'm saying. I'm saying this consciously for a reason, because I want, Chair, for you to be clear that it is you as a government that gave Zimbabwean documents. It wasn't us as South Africans. You therefore cannot tell us that the documents that you illegally gave to Zimbabweans must make us treat them that they are like they're in the country legally. Because those ZEPs are not legal documents. It's the government that broke its own laws to enable those ZEP holders to have jobs today. And they're making these jobs seem like they're not a big deal to South Africans. Because you made them believe, Chair, Home Affairs, that those jobs are non-South African jobs and they belong to them. That's why we find ourselves here. So no, Chair, we're not going to take back our words because you as a department want to legalize ZEPs. We don't want them. We've never wanted them. It was your call as a department, not ours as South Africans.
Thank you. Let's move to the next.
The statements in this exchange represent the speakers' respective positions. Some claims are disputed or require independent verification. Now, let us separate three questions that were repeatedly blended together in that exchange. The first is whether South Africans have the right to debate the future of the Zimbabwean exemption permit. They do. The ZEP is a special immigration arrangement, not citizenship, and not an automatic route to permanent residence. Government may review it, amend it, replace it, or require eligible holders to move into ordinary visa categories, provided the process follows the law. The second question is whether the ZEP was unlawfully invented and therefore gives its holders no legal status. That is not the current legal position. The exemption system was established under powers granted to the minister by South Africa's Immigration Act. The current permits have officially been extended and their holders remain lawfully documented under the conditions of those permits. People may oppose that policy. They may argue it was badly designed. They may demand that it eventually end. But political opposition does not transform a valid government-issued permit into an illegal document. And that brings us to the third and most consequential question. Was Jacinta Ngobese-Zuma arguing only against a special permit program? At first, parts of her argument concerned consultation, temporary status and immigration policy. But then the argument changed. She said the issue was not merely whether Zimbabweans possessed documents. She said South Africans no longer wanted Zimbabweans in the country. She openly defended generalising about Zimbabweans as a group. And when the chair distinguished legal ZEP holders from undocumented migrants, she rejected that distinction. That is the pivot. The debate moved from, should this permit system continue, to legal status should not matter because this nationality is not wanted. A democratic society can debate immigration numbers. It can debate work permits. It can punish fraud. It can deport people who have no lawful right to remain through due process. It can protect South African workers and act against employers who break labour laws. But the rule of law becomes meaningless if a lawful document is recognised only when the public approves of the nationality holding it. Today, that argument may be used against Zimbabweans. Tomorrow, it may be used against another migrant community. Eventually, it can be used against South Africans whose language, accent or appearance causes someone in the street to question whether they belong. The chair's response was therefore more than a factual correction. It defended a basic constitutional principle. People are judged according to their individual legal status, not according to collective suspicion directed at their nationality. Public consultation should help government design better policy. It should not become a referendum on whether an entire national community deserves recognition under laws that currently protect it. So the defining question is not whether the ZEP must exist forever. It is this: can South Africa change an immigration policy lawfully without first declaring the people currently protected by that policy socially unwanted and legally invisible? This is the South Africa File: history, power, politics and consequences. Tell us in the comments, should the ZEP be phased into ordinary immigration categories? And what lawful transition would protect both South African interests and permit holders who have complied with the rules? Keep the discussion focused on policy, law and practical solutions. Nationality-based insults and collective accusations will be removed.